Welcome to the IAM Winter Solstice Symposium.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. And I want to thank Renee for inviting me to be a part of the IAM Symposium again this year. I will confess that I went into my normal mode of wanting to share with all of you pretty much everything I know about listening down into a half an hour. And as you can imagine, that made me a little crazy because that's a nutsy thing to try to do. But it is kind of the way I do things. And then Spirit usually shows up for me, which it did, and it smacked me around a little bit this morning and made me realize that I don't want to talk about how important it is for us to learn how to listen to other people. I don't want to talk about that today. That is really important. And I think that that's a huge problem with our whole society is that almost nobody's listening to anybody, and there's just all this cacophony that's going around. We're inundated. And I do think that we do need to learn how to listen to each other. But I think that the reason why we don't listen to each other is because we've forgotten how to listen to ourselves. And I've come to realize over a lot of years now, over 30, more like probably 40, how important it is to listen to what's really and truly important and essential to our own selves. That's what makes us, gives us purpose in life and helps us have a rich life. So this morning, of course, Spirit smacked me upside the head and said, no, Lise, just, what people really want to do and need, even if they don't even know they want it, they need to experience listening to our inner fire keepers, which is the title of my presentation. So it's all about the experience of it. I can sit here and yak forever and it doesn't enrich your lives at all. So the first thing I want to do is open sacred space. And I contemplated not doing that audibly, and then I realized that that's part of what I'm here for. Because what I want you to do is, when I start, I want you to close your eyes and really take in the words that I'm using to create a container for all of us to be here for this presentation. And I want you to allow yourself to just really sink into the words and the intention. So that will be the first thing I do. I will open sacred space for us. To the winds of the north, Sewa Kente, Royal Hummingbird, Wanakari. To the grandmothers and grandfathers who've come before us, and all you who will come after us, our children's children's children. Come, be here with us now as we do this work. Warm your hands by our fire. Sit with us in council. remind us of who we are and why we're here. Wolf, leader of the clan of teachers, go forth and call in for each one of us, our greatest teachers, and ask them too to come and sit with us, to make themselves known, to give us that reassurance that we do have our teachers within us, and they are here for us. Wanakari, sacred hummingbird, come and join us as well, and allow us to feel and be still amidst the chaos of the outside world, so we can drink deeply of the wisdom that resides within each one of us. Come and join us. Oh. To the winds of the east, Apuchin, Hatun Kuntu, Waman, Hatun Tuku. Eagle, condor, hawk, and owl, come and join us, winged ones, in this sacred space, and help us fly high among the Apus, the sacred mountains, so we can look down on our situations at this present moment and see things from perhaps a new or different perspective. Help us look within at our lives. Help us see what we need to see in order to greet the rising sun, the sun of a new dawn, of a new year, of a new opportunity to move forward in our lives. And sacred Apus, sacred mountains from all over the world, please come and join us and bring us your accumulated wisdom. Oh. To the winds of the south, Sachamama, great serpent, Amaru. Mother of the jungle, mother of the forest, come and wrap your coils of gold and light around us, each one of us, and help us shed our doubts, our fears, our worries, our beliefs that keep us held back, our thoughts that keep us from believing that we hold a vast reservoir of wisdom and insight and knowledge within our own selves. Help us shed those beliefs that hold us back or weigh us down, and help us shed all of the burdens we've picked up this year. Help us do that as we do this work. And Porcupine, I'd like to invite you in as well. Bring us your playfulness and innocence, your trust and your faith, as we access the inner wisdom, the fire keepers that reside within each of us. Oh. To the winds of the west, Otorongo, mother, sister, jaguar, Chokachingchai, rainbow jaguar. You who knows how to cross from this world to the next and back again. Grandmother and grandfather bear, keepers of the wisdom that resides deep within all of us. Come and join us. Remind us of how we can access your wisdom, our shared wisdom. Jaguar, guard our medicine space. Make sure that any communications we receive are always for our highest and very best growth and understanding, and that are supportive to us. And above all, help us do this work with the highest integrity and impeccability. Oh, Mother Earth, Pachamama, Mother Earth, Gaia, sweet, sweet Mother. please join us and hold us, ground us, keep us centered and rooted here on you, and allow us to go within. Remind us of the wisdom that you hold for us as well. And also, I call upon the spirits of the land underneath each and every one of us participating in this chat. I ask you, spirits of each and every one of our lands, to hold hands underneath, within Mother Earth. Hold hands with each other and provide us with a network of loving support and understanding, because we want you to know that as we do this work to access our own inner wisdom, we are doing it so that we can be better stewards of the land, of Mother Earth. So I ask you to please act in concert with us and hold us as we do this work. Thank you. Oh. Inti taita, mama kia, hatun chaskas. Father, son, grandmother, moon, brothers and sisters of the star nations, ia tixi, wirakocha, wakantanka. Ascended masters, angelic realm, God, Goddess, all that is. You who are known by 1,000 names and you who are the unnameable, shine your light down upon us. Fill our hearts and our minds and our bodies with your brilliance, with your unconditional love, with your wisdom and understanding. And help us connect with the wisdom that resides within each one of us. Oh. So that's the container that I want us all to feel held within. A lot of times that we, like I said, we're inundated with this cacophony of noise and people yammering at us. And I really do feel like it is time for us to remember that we have fire keepers within our own selves who hold on to they keep our life fire going, our inspiration, our hope, our reasons for being alive. And we are the ones who need to access that for ourselves. No one else can truly do that for us. There are people who can help us sometimes maybe get a different perspective on what we're receiving and hearing, because sometimes we still get stuck in our old beliefs or our old way of looking at things. But for the most part, if we go within and we ask for information and inspiration and guidance, we will receive it in the way that we can best understand it. And that's why when you seek that kind of guidance outside of yourself, it can sometimes not be as rich or as personal as it could be, because other people necessarily interpret things through their own lenses. So I just encourage you to, this is why we need to get back to basics. We need to go within. There's a million voices telling us what we should think, how we should feel, what we should be doing, how we should be living our lives, especially now. And we need to get back to ourselves. So instead of talking anymore, what I want to do, I would like you to all get a piece of paper and a pen, or, a journal. I will give you like 30 seconds to get that in case you don't have it nearby. But I want you to do this because I'm going to lead you on a guided journey. And I'm all about doing shamanic journeys, which are different than what we're going to do. A regular shamanic journey, and I'm just going to be giving this background so that while you guys are getting paper and pen, a regular shamanic journey is not guided by anybody else, by anybody outside of yourself. It's you find a way of entry point into either the underworld or the upper world. And there's a whole bunch of stuff I can tell you about that. But you follow your own path. It's not, there are no suggestions or anything from anybody outside of yourself. But that's for another day, even though I know probably most of you who are tuning into this probably have done journeying before. But what I want us to do right now, since this is about our inner fire keepers, I wanted to specifically go in and allow us all to have a little chat with our inner fire keepers, because those are the ones we need to listen to. But more importantly, today, they are the ones who will listen to us. So, I'm going to now assume that you have your papers and pens. And I want you to just get comfortable and allow yourself to sink into that cocoon of the sacred space that we have created. Close your eyes. You can put something over your eyes if you need to, or not. But it's mostly important to just close your eyes. And I want you to allow me to give you enough information to jumpstart your imagination. And I want you to appreciate the power of our imagination. There's nothing, for want of a better expression, bullshitty about our imagination. That is the creative power of the universe, quite frankly. Our ability to imagine and create. So I want you to give yourself permission to follow what I'm going to suggest and experience it. So, closing your eyes, I want you to go to a favorite place that you have in nature. This can be a beach, a forest, a stream, a mountain. It can be a park. It doesn't need to be out in the wild. It can just be a patch of grass that's in your backyard. I want you to be there for a moment and take in all of everything you can see and smell, taste the air. What do you hear? Do you hear any noises? Breathe deeply and smell it. Then I want you to notice a path. It catches your attention. And you're not sure where this path leads. So I want you to follow it. Notice the details of the path. Eventually, as you're walking along, you're going to come to a clearing. And there's a fire in the middle of this clearing. It's a safe fire. It's surrounded by stones. And there are places around this fire to sit. You don't see anyone, but you see a place to sit yourself that you know is your place. It is exactly the type of place you would love to just sit and relax. It's comfortable. It's yours. You know it. You recognize it. Even if you've never seen it before, you know it's yours. So I want you to sit and stare for a moment into the flames. It's a beautiful fire. Listen to the crackling voice of this fire. Smell the sweet scent of the wood that's burning. Lose yourself in that fire for a moment. Feel its warmth. Now I want you to look up and notice you're no longer alone. Beings have shown up and taken their places around your fire. They may be in human form. They may be animals or birds or even creatures that normally live in the water. They don't have to follow the rules. They're here for you. They're here to make themselves known to you. They may not even be animals of any sort. They could be stones or plants. Don't limit yourself. Allow yourself to see who has shown up for you. Thank them for coming. Thank them for revealing themselves to you. Know that they are your fire keepers, because that's the intention we set. Now I want you to realize that you actually carried a really heavy sack with you when you walked down that path. You placed it beside your sitting place, your seat of power. And you realized that there's this big sack, and it was heavy, and you don't particularly want to pick it up again, but you should probably look inside it. These are the burdens you've been carrying that have accumulated this year. Go ahead and give yourself permission to open that sack. Take a look at what's inside. Now, what I want you to do is tell your fire keepers about the burdens that are in that sack. You don't even need to use words. Just express your feelings. Describe the conflict you've felt, the grief, the rage, the sadness. Feel what it feels like to be listened to completely. Your fire keepers understand you so well, so deeply, so profoundly. They don't interrupt to tell you how they've felt the same way or somebody else has it worse or anything. They listen to you. Now I want you to feel free to dump the whole sack into the fire. Anything that, just dump it. You might even see some beautiful colors. Perhaps in their transmutation, they can even bring you a visual gift. Thank your fire keepers for listening. And ask them if collectively or individually they have something, a word, a thought, a feeling, a phrase that they would like you to bring back, that they would like you to hold on to as you move into this new year. Now I want you to, of course, thank them again. You might want to ask if you can visit them again, regularly perhaps. Now follow the path back, pick up your empty sack, follow the path back, and I want you to come into your body. Feel yourself, pat yourself. You're back in your body, and I want you to write down what you just experienced, please. I'll give you 5 minutes. One more minute. So I want to tell you that I'm going to leave sacred space open for an hour after we end this session. I will close it in an hour. But I encourage you to continue to feel what it feels like to be held in that cocoon of or nest of safety, and I want you to perhaps use the time in sacred space to reflect on what you received, and give yourself that sense of peace and unconditional love and protection that I feel when I open sacred space. And the feelings that you may have right now for establishing a connection with your fire keepers. The most important counsel we can access is what resides within each of us, because we all have our own unique purpose for being here on earth, especially at this time. We have our own unique lessons. We have our own unique gifts. And it feels really, really important for us all to realize that we have to cultivate an ability to listen to ourselves first. It's that cliche of when you fly and they say, if the oxygen drops down, feed yourself first and then feed the child or the person who can't take care of themselves beside you. We have to take care of ourselves first. And it is essential that we listen to the wisdom that resides within us and give it the greatest credence, because we are our greatest teachers. But to do this, it takes practice, and because these are relationships, yes, the wisdom resides within us, but it also takes forms. It makes itself visible to us in our mind's eye or in our ears or in our other senses that we utilize when we journey. It makes itself available to us in ways we can understand that don't necessarily make logical sense. So in order to establish relationships, we have to put time in. We have to put care and attention into these relationships, just like we do with friendships or marriages or partnerships or even having a pet. My God, how many of us have been saved this year by the relationships we have with our pets? So it takes practice. It takes devotion and dedication, and it takes respect. And by respect, I mean writing down what you receive. Honoring it by writing it down so that you can reflect on it later. Honoring it by following through. If you're given specific instructions, follow them. It's not a game, it's real, and you will be rewarded by following through. So once we learn to listen to ourselves, we're in a much better position to be able to listen to others. So I really do feel like this is our greatest task this coming year, because we're going to need to be listening. We're going to need to be listening on many, many, many levels. So that's my presentation. I do have a thing that I'm going to be starting. I started it a couple of months ago, but I'm offering it now to a wider audience, and it's a Shamanic Caravan. And if you if you read my blog post from last night, and you can access my blog at Owl Medicine, OWLMEDICINE .com, and go to blog. If you read about the Shamanic Caravan, that describes for you in more detail how I got this idea. And it's not my idea, it's Spirit's idea. And what it basically boils down to is I want to provide an opportunity for people to cultivate their relationships with their spirit guides, with their inner wisdom, with their inner fire keepers. And I know that, this may be an awesome experience. And then you think, I really want to do this. I really want to go back. I want to access this. I want to create this relationship. But then, life gets in the way. And, if we're into our minds a lot, if we're into our heads, we tend to dismiss this aspect of our lives and not give it the value we might give it to something intellectual. So, I feel like, in fact, this morning I was kind of thinking, this is kind of like a spiritual yoga class. We give ourselves, we sign up for a class and we go. We may think every time we do yoga, oh my God, I should do this every day. Yeah, well, if I sign up for a yoga class, I at least go once a week, right? So, that's my experience. You guys may all be awesome yoga practitioners or whatever. But what I'm saying is that I am offering this Shamanic Caravan, and they are wagons, different times, different days, where you can journey with a group. I open sacred space. I rattle. I did not rattle for you guys, but because you will be going on your own separate journeys, I don't talk. I don't give you any descriptions. So that's something you can think about. This isn't a commercial. So, but I encourage you to read my blog from last night. It's called Shamanic Caravan, and it describes how I was given the whole kind of marching orders to create this for us moving forward. And it really feels like it's supposed to come to fruition now as we enter 2021 and move forward, because we need to move forward. I think we can all agree. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me and for being open and receptive to this work. I appreciate it. Bye.